life. And let me tell you, the squad is deep. It always is. A city that sits in the center of the state, a basketball program that has become the epicenter of women's hoops. And all they do is win here. You see the crowds. 22 straight home wins, facing a Tennessee team with their backs against the wall. They are looking to slay Goliath. And Aaliyah Boston is all business with history in her grasp. Because for the first time ever, the Soda City is bubbling. College Game Day is in Columbia, South Carolina. Let's go!
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Columbia, South Carolina is ready.
This arena is absolutely rocking.
The sun is blasting out.
Long three, got
Believe in us. Be mentally tough all night long.
Come on, go, go, go!
Welcome to College Game Day, presented by State Farm, one of the best atmospheres in all of college hoops. It's more than being a fan here. At South Carolina, they call them fams. If there is strength in numbers, then consider them a force. Best crowd attendance in D1, 22 straight home wins for the Gamecocks. And now, as the #1 team in the country, they will look to remain that way as they face a Tennessee team who's got their backs against the wall, which is a dangerous place to be. As we formally say, hello and welcome. I'm already exhausted by this crowd and this atmosphere. Let's go. Yeah. I am Elle Duncan. This is Andrea Carter, former Lady Vol, Carolyn Peck. Yes, what's up? The first black woman to win a national championship. I think you know the second. And Stephanie knows it well because she won it here with Carolyn Peck, former WNBA and D1 head coach. This is College Game Day in Columbia for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. And I know the crowd is ready, one of the best atmospheres. But how significant is it, Carolyn, that we are here today?
Look, I coached at a time when you came to a South Carolina game, there was hardly anybody here. This is the house that Dawn Staley built.
Let's go!
Look, over the last 7 seasons, it has been South Carolina that has led the nation in attendance.
As former players, Drea and Steph, what's it like to see all of this pomp and circumstance surrounding the women's game?
It's huge. It's so exciting, and this is the best arena. I remember playing. I had a turnover right there on that baseline, and the crowd went crazy, and I was like, this is such a tough place to play for College Game Day. To be here, it's exciting.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, whenever you can play in front of an atmosphere like this, whether you're the home team or the road squad, it doesn't matter. The energy is electric.
Yes, the incitement is palpable. We can see it from the fans, but you mentioned it. It's the house that who built?
Dawn Staley
The
built
house that
this.
who built?
Dawn Staley built this.
Then let's bring in the incomparable Dawn Staley, who is joining us now. Make some noise for Dawn Staley. National champion, coach of the year, Hall of Famer. Swag on a trillion too, right here, Dawn. Dawn, you have been a part, obviously, of some big events as a player and as a coach. What's it like to have College Game Day for the first time in 11 years at a women's hoops game?
I think it's fitting. We got the best fans in the country. Right now, we got the best team in the country. Yep. College Game Day is the best show in the country. I think the best are teaming up today, and thank you for coming to Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you all for having us. This is tremendous for women's basketball, not just South Carolina, but just the entire game. I'm all for pushing the game forward, and this right here is a part of it.
Platform.
And Dawn, what you have done in building this, now you have a statue out front with Asia Wilson. My question is, did you save room for another statue? Because, look, Aaliyah Boston is making a case that she needs one outside as well.
Listen, we actually, there was no talk of a statue before Asia Wilson got here. But now, we're going to have to make room for statues because we got a lot of players. I know Aaliyah Boston is pretty darn good, but we got people coming in the ranks that will be most deserving of a statue. But for right now, Asia's alone. Let Aaliyah continue to work her magic out there on the floor.
Gotcha.
Asia needs some friends out there. She needs some friends out there with her. But talking about Aaliyah Boston, I mean, she's been impactful since she stepped foot on the floor. Now she's the most dominant player in the game. Where have you seen her game grow the most, and what separates her?
I think when you look at Aaliyah Boston, you got to take her for all who she is. First year, she was dominant. Second year, she was dominant. This year, she's dominant, but doing it in a way that you see her entire game just develop. She's not just a center. She's made herself into a stretch forward because she's able to play out on the perimeter, and you just don't see that with some of the great players in our sport. You don't really see them get better, and she's definitely won. Is there a most improved award out there?
That should be. Because you get both.
Coach, we talk about Aaliyah Boston, but I'm impressed by the unselfishness of everybody on the team and what looks like a collective buy-in. What does it take from the staff to get everybody on the same page with your team?
I mean, it's constant communication. Like, we break our team up into three groups. Coach Boyer has her group. Coach Law has her group. Coach Shamil has his group. And every week they hear from them a few times a day, definitely after the game. If they played a lot, if they didn't play a whole lot, we just keep the lines of communication open. And I think young people want to hear it. If you leave them idle, it fills up with stuff that's in their head is probably not even true. So we like to be the biggest voices in their heads, even when it isn't favorable to them in the playing time, because that's the big key.
Dawn, you continue to make history, and you did so for the United States, the Olympic team. What was that experience like, and what have you brought from that into this season?
Well, I think when you comprise the best players in our country together, I think the culture itself speaks for itself because they all just want to win. Brittany Griner didn't care if she got a double-double. Well, that's what she does. Asia Wilson did not care. She wanted that gold medal hoisted around her neck. Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, they've done it plenty of times. They just wanted their fifth one, and that's the culture we try to create here at South Carolina. I do see at least one or two Olympians on our South Carolina women's basketball team.
Okay, I like that. Now, I know that Carolyn just asked you what you figuratively took back from the Olympics, and we want to show you here because there's one basketball that every head coach of the women's U.S. team has signed, except for its first black female head coach ever, that being Dawn Staley. And so we have that basketball with us here, Dawn, and we would love if you could officially sign it and commemorate your run
I
as
got
the
to
head
give you the
coach.
backstory.
You
Coach Boyer actually got this for me for Christmas a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I guess Boyer knew that it was going to happen somewhere, sometime. And I'm happy to be signing it on national television.
No better time than
Exactly, and I also want to acknowledge, as we sit here in Black History Month, the history that is right here, these queens that are right here. We've got Carolyn Peck, the first black woman to win a national title, and Dawn Staley, the second. So, queens, thank you for your contributions to the game. Perfect timing. It's like, let me humble you real quick. Let me just humble you real fast.
Coach, we talked about Olympics and we talked about your team and the intangibles, but I got to ask a little bit about the swag of your team, the outfits. You always come ready, but your team always comes ready as well when it comes to the outfits. We've got Champ with us.
Champ.
We've got the outfits. We're going to have you look at some of your players and kind of rank their outfits, okay, when we show you some video, Champ.
Right. Yeah, are we going to go, is this a starting five outfit or
are
off
we
the bench?
benching this or starting this?
Henny, you got to start Henny. Henny brings it every time that she's got that walk. She's photogenic.
Look at the chains.
Right.
Like, you
colors.
see the chains? All right, bench or start?
What's that? Stars. Come on with the glasses. Listen, they're all starters.
Okay.
They're all starters. The glasses.
Ooh,
all right.
Come on, Camilla. Come on, not the
Bring it.
shoulder. The
Bring
shoulder
it.
action. The skin action. Go ahead, Camilla.
Come on.
Do you put any thought into what you're going to wear based on the game, or is it just, you go to the closet and just how you feel is how you feel?
No, I put some thought in it.
Okay.
Actually, I was going to wear this outfit a few games ago, but I was like, This might be good for the Tennessee game.
Well, fantastic. Listen, Coach, thank you so much for taking a few minutes for us. Hey, Champ, how you doing? Does Champ have any pregame rituals that we need to know about?
He doesn't. He's a tregan, not a vegan, but a tregan.
A tregan, so only treats. That's all he likes. He only likes treats. Good luck today. Big matchup. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. And again, the house that Don built. We are here because a huge part of what you have done for women's basketball. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Elle.
We certainly
you,
appreciate you. All right, and with that, we're going to actually go to Holly Rowe because on the other side of this is the Tennessee team that, as we know, started out very strong, guys. 18-1. We'll get more perspective on that in just a second. But she was able to catch up with their head coach, Kelly Harper, just moments ago. Hey, Holly.
Because right now, you may tell you what's embarrassing. We are not the tougher team right now. That's embarrassing. I will not put a team on the court that walks off and they are not the tougher team. That is not an option. That is not who we are. That is not what has got us to this point right now. And the tougher team is not getting whiny and pushy. No! It's being mentally stronger than everybody else out there. And you do not take a play off. That's all I got for y'all. Come on.
Let's go, Vols. Pick it up, boys.
They are checking your womanhood right here. Don't you dare back down.
Well, Coach, you say those fiery words. You are such a great motivator for your team. And today, unfortunately, you're in another position where they're going to have to woman up because you're down your leading scorer. How do you absorb that loss?
Well, I think it's a tough loss when you look at the breadth of what she does. It's not just leading scorer. She's best defensive player, rebounder, passer, ball handler. I mean, she does a little bit of everything for us. So we're going to have to be a little bit better across the board.
How do you talk to your team about this? You've now lost 2 crucial players in a matter of weeks. How do you tell them about resilience and that you still have to get out there and compete today?
Yeah, so, we just ask them as competitors, and for the love of the game, you've got to go out and compete. And they want to do that. I mean, they're excited about still getting to play. Obviously, we hate moving forward without our whole roster. It's been a blow. But you've still got a lot of players out there that love this game and love this sport. And they're going to play hard and they're going to fight and compete.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
So for a little bit of context, that speech that you saw her giving her team, Kelly Harper, was from their game against Arkansas, where they overcame a 13-point deficit to win in OT. We did not know what precipitated that run until that video went viral this week. Getting a lot of comparisons to Pat Summitt in that video. But I want to stay here for a second, CP, because Tennessee, this matchup just a few weeks ago looked very different. It's a team that was already struggling to overcome the loss of Kean Green, and now we find out yesterday that they lose their leading scorer in Jordan Horston. How can this Tennessee team keep things competitive against the top team in the country today?
Well, the thing that you have to do first is the mindset that your glass is half full, right? So you look at the things of what everybody can do. It's not going to be one player that's going to be able to step things up. The one thing they've got to focus on is they've got to glass. The thing that they do, they score a lot of their points from second chance points. So if they can keep them off the glass and then take care of the basketball, they can make this game competitive.
I think taking care of the basketball is key. No Jordan Horston on the floor. Who's going to handle the pressure? Who's going to facilitate and initiate offense? Now, one of the good things that could happen offensively is that the ball could move a little bit more. Oftentimes, the Tennessee players get caught watching Jordan Horston go to work, so there could be more of an offensive flow.
I think the biggest thing also, when you say keep the ball out of the paint, it doesn't just mean keep Aaliyah Boston from getting the ball. It means keep the perimeter guards out of the paint so that Tamari Key doesn't have to help, because when Tamari Key helps, Aaliyah Boston is open or in good position for the offensive rebound. So the perimeter defense, I think, is important.
Very quickly, as our resident former Lady Vol, they are not who they have been the last few weeks. This is a team that started out 18-1. Why is Tennessee back, despite this slide that we've seen?
Tennessee is back because 3 years ago, at this time of the year, Tennessee had lost 10 games, including a 6-game losing streak. Right? Fast forward go backwards 2 years, Tennessee had lost 9 games by this point of the year. We're here this year, they've lost 5 games, and everybody's disappointed. That's how you know Tennessee is back, because what they were playing like at the beginning of the season set an expectation that hasn't been there for Tennessee the past few years.
And the good news for Tennessee, despite being decimated with injury heading into this matchup today, They have in the past had Dawn Staley's number as much as any team can have Dawn Staley's number, so certainly should be an interesting matchup today. We are not only here for just the matchup, we are here for chasing history, and still ahead, Aaliyah Boston can do exactly that as she looks to go for her 19th straight double-double. We'll get to know her a little bit more as she streaks towards history. We'll highlight the junior forward's ascent to the sports elite. I mean, these pictures. Hello, can we go there? These pictures, too. Let's go. Columbia, South Carolina College Game Day here for the first time. It's all being covered by State Farm. College Game Day covered by State Farm. Let's go.
Welcome back to College Game Day, covered by State Farm. Well, Aaliyah Boston has proven to be one of the best players in the country, 18 straight double-doubles. But it took love and sacrifice for her and her family to get her to where she is today. Growing up on the small island of St. Thomas, she knew she had to leave home to pursue her dreams. But that island spirit still lives within her.
I'm Aaliyah Boston, and welcome to my home of St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
We run the kingdom today, not worry about tomorrow.
She doesn't change based on where she went and the things that she has accomplished. She is Aaliyah, and she's genuine to that. We want that when the world hears her story and sees where she came from, that they're gonna know there's so many more Aaliyahs on this island.
At 9 years old, Aaliyah Boston became interested in basketball after seeing her older sister Alexis play. Without many options for leagues on the island, Aaliyah was often the only girl on the team. By middle school, Aaliyah was hooked on the game.
Where's little Aaliyah? I want to see. Oh my gosh.
No. Oh, look. I knew I was good.
You're darling.
And I was the tallest.
Oh my gosh, you're in 6th grade?
Yeah.
Attitude. You're owning that room right now.
That's me. Look at my socks.
Oh,
Do you see my socks? They were up to my knees. And my
socks
knee
are-
pads were volleyball.
If there was anything to be embarrassed in here about, it would be these socks.
So this is where it all started.
And even after school, just my mom would bring us up and be like, all right, let's shoot. This is outside courts.
I love it.
The heat used to be booming. Okay? You got to sweat in by walking up the hill.
When did you start coaching her?
She was in 6th grade.
6th grade.
Coach Bruley just with my shot, helping me to develop from a nice little two-hand jumper to the proper way.
And I saw some signs in her, right? In 7th grade, I told her mother she was a D1 prospect.
In 7th grade,
Yeah.
you saw something in her.
Yeah, I told her mother she had to get out for the island. Honestly, she was way better than all them girls.
You play the same teams over and over and over. So you know everybody know what the next person is going to do. So your ability to play competition outside of that circle is non-existent. She needed an opportunity to see who she could become.
After several summer camps in the United States, Aaliyah and Alexis moved in permanently with their aunt in Massachusetts in the summer of 2014. Aaliyah had immediate success on the court, becoming a 3-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Massachusetts, and rose to the number 3 recruit in the country, which caught the eye of South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley. In 2018, Aaliyah was the headliner of the Gamecocks' #1 recruiting class.
She is their go-to at 6'5" on the inside, and she has the capability of finishing left and right.
She is so big, so strong, so mobile, so quick.
The most dominant center in the country right now.
I mean, it's just knowing what I wanted to accomplish and just knowing the sacrifices that my entire family has made. It's like you have to keep going. This wasn't all just for fun. I mean, basketball is fun, but all the sacrifices, I mean, it's for a greater purpose.
Thank you all for coming. Celebrate Alexis's graduation and Aaliyah's successful year. We have a whole lot to give God thanks for.
So the whole family comes together when she's here to make a nice dinner for her. Oh, that's awesome.
Salmon, guys. Salmon's on the menu.
Salmon. And we have curry chicken.
That's my favorite, personal favorite.
And red peas and rice, which is an island favorite.
Aaliyah returns home to the island at least once a year, not only to see family and friends, but to feed her soul and reconnect to where her journey began.
This is Lindbergh Bay, and this is just my all-time favorite beach. Landing, taking off, it's the beach that you see. You're either just leaving home, which is a sad moment, but also an exciting moment because I'm going back to school or traveling somewhere new. Then it's either I'm coming home and it's like, you get to see your family. This is exciting.
It means hello and goodbye, but it's in your heart.
Yes.
Oh, I like it.
Everyone in the Virgin Islands is just so supportive of the young athletes. Like, they want to see you do really well.
We chose to have a high school jersey for you because you are the most decorated high school basketball player from the Virgin Islands in our history, so I wanted your high school accomplishment. So there it is.
It's gonna be...
Yeah, it's gonna hang right over there.
These are the goats in here. Everyone knows that I left here when I was young to be a successful basketball player. But I want to just show them that all of this was so I could continue to make them proud.
I just want to thank the Boston family, an unbelievable experience. Grandpa was our driver and tour guide. Grandma was our cook. It was such a loving family affair. Cleone works for the Visitors Bureau there in St. Thomas, and Dad Al is the plug on the island. Thank you so much to the Boston family and this incredible young woman, Aaliyah Boston, who leaves home to chase their dreams as a basketball player. She had that courage, and here she is today on College Game Day.
Absolutely incredible story, Holly. Not only that, who leaves St. Thomas? I'm just saying, it's quite beautiful there. Hello, we're back. All right, Steph. It might be easier to say, what does Aaliyah Boston not do for this team than what does she do for this team? But what in particular impresses you the most about her play?
Well, I'm impressed with her work.
Yeah.
Right? Like the sacrifice that her family made. She said, this isn't about fun. This is about my future. So she approaches it differently than a lot of college athletes. And she has developed, she has grown because of that tunnel vision and wanting to get better and succeed for her family.
You know what I like about Aaliyah Boston is she's always searching ways to get better. So what did she do this summer? She went and spent time with Tim Duncan. She went to his house 5 days.
Yeah.
And I talked to Tim about, I said, what did she ask you about? And he was real chill about, it came organically. She came down, worked the first couple of days, and then we looked at ways of where, and the most important thing, court awareness. He wanted her to be patient, and that's how he played. You see the work that he did from the high post and on the block, where you see that same thing from Aaliyah Boston, and spacing as well. She doesn't foul out of ball games. She's blocking shots. She has a major impact on the floor on both ends.
And the great news, too, for her is it's as if Danielson has done better than Mr. Miyagi because she worked with Tim Duncan. She already has better production than he did his junior year at Wake Forest. So that away, you have become the teacher and the master. You know, all they do is win here. Obviously, they're going for their 23rd straight win here at Colonial Life. But, Drea, I also hear that they do trick shots as well. Example.
Hey, y'all want some challenges? Okay? Challenge that right there. Okay. Wow. I'll stay on the challenge.
Wonder how many chances they needed to hit some of these shots, but we're going to put you all on the spot, and I want you guys to do a trick shot. You just need one, CP?
I just need one.
Okay, what are we doing?
I got this.
What are we
Just
doing?
one? I got this.
Okay, let me see. You ready? Oh, look at the confidence. Okay, sis.
So don't take all the time
Okay,
now.
sis.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you were so close.
Okay.
All right, Drea.
I'm going?
Yeah, Drea. Okay, all right, all right.
My feet right.
I'm a rebound.
You got to use it.
So close. I got to get another
try. I got to get another try.
You got it.
Heads up, Drea. I'm not trying to hit you right here.
Go ahead. My bad. My bad. Come on.
I need another shot.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
There we go.
Oh,
There we go.
Come on, Drea. I've practiced this so many times.
Come on, Drea.
Come on.
And you know what?
Knock another one.
We have a special guest in the building. As we attempt these, Deebo Samuel is in the building. Former South Carolina football player. Niners, we're going to talk to you in just a minute, Deebo, all right? We're going to talk to you in just a minute because coming up here on College Game Day, we're going to get into the National Player of the Year conversation. Is it Aaliyah Boston versus the field? We get into that as College Game Day continues live from Columbia, South Carolina. Let's go.
Wendy's Wooden Watch is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2022 John R. Wooden Player of the Year.
Welcome back to College Game Day live from Columbia, South Carolina, home of the A'ja Wilson and her statue. What better way to cap a legendary career that netted a national championship and a National Player of the Year than with a statue? You know, I'm a little confused because we have another former Gamecock great turned Niners receiver, Deebo Samuel. Where's your statue, Deebo? I mean, commemorate it. You from here?
I mean, A'ja is actually from Columbia. I'm actually from Spartanburg, but it's great to see all the things that she did. I actually got to watch her play while I was here, and she really legit.
Absolutely phenomenal, right? What brings you out to the game today, Deebo?
I was at home, and I seen they had a home game, and I was just like, I'm going to go watch the game.
I'm going to go support. We love the support.
Absolutely. And how do you feel being a homegrown and looking what Dawn Staley has done coming to South Carolina and made your women's basketball program the premier program in the country?
I mean, it's great. Ever since I got here, you know, I didn't watch too much of basketball, but I really seen how good our basketball team has became, and it's just crazy all the things Coach Dawn Staley has done with this organization.
You know, Deebo, you obviously played at the highest level when it comes to football. We talk a lot about Aaliyah Boston and how great she is. What do you see in her that gives her the pieces to be a pro and be one of the best pros in her future?
One thing that I always go off of is the dog mentality that she has. Whenever she get the ball in the paint, the block shots, and just how she dominates the game.
Absolutely, and I think that's also what's so spectacular about her is that she's the picture of consistency. Today, Deebo, I don't know if you know this, she's going for her 19th consecutive double-double. It would tie a record. Exactly. You see the face Deebo's making? It would tie a record with the great Sylvia Fowles for the most in the conference. What does it mean as someone who has to suit up every Sunday, as someone who has to be as consistent as you are, as someone who's sort of transformed the position? They call you a wide back, Deebo. What does it mean to be able to be that consistent, that high a level?
That's just crazy. That just show all the work and dedication that she put in off the court. You know, it all don't start when you put the uniform on and come out here and play. It starts, you know what I'm saying, in the morning when you wake up, the dark nights and all the times you have with your team that people don't see.
Exactly. We talked about it. She is on a business trip every time she shows up to any arena. And in fact, she is joining us now as we say hello to Aaliyah Boston.
Hi.
She's getting ready. Hey, Aaliyah. Okay, I see that you're getting ready. You're getting some shots up. How are you feeling as we're about 20 minutes from tip?
I'm feeling pretty good. Really excited.
Hey, Aaliyah, the hair is popping. Why the orange?
Yes.
My hairstylist, Alana, chooses it, so it was a surprise to me, too.
So you're telling me that you had no idea that she was going to go bright orange as you were taking on the Lady Vols?
I had no idea.
Wow.
When you saw it, Aaliyah, you were like, okay, I'm rolling.
I sent a picture to my mom and I said, Mom, you won't believe it.
You won't believe it. She just talked and made the shot at the same time.
Right.
Like, do you practice that all the time, Aaliyah? Is that something you work on?
We just talked about, Aaliyah, how dominant you are and how consistent you are. I know that you're probably not thinking much about the record books, but of course you are chasing history and the great Sylvia Fowles. How do you prepare every single game, sort of knowing that is also at play?
I just try to do what my teammates need me to do, and that's being dominant.
Aaliyah, I'm curious, we talked about you chasing history. Today you're going up against Tamara Key that has size. For you, what are keys to your game when you're facing someone that has the same size and length as you? What's important for you to keep in mind?
Just about being patient and reading the defense and being physical.
Hey, Aaliyah, now, did your mom and dad make it? And if they did that give you a little extra motivation when you get on the court and play in front of them?
They texted me this morning, but my aunt drove down from Massachusetts, and so they're all giving me a lot of motivation.
Well, listen, we have taken up enough of your time. We know that you have a big matchup to prepare for. So, Aaliyah, I appreciate you. Good luck today. And now that we let you go, we're going to talk about how you are the favorite for National Player of the Year. But you don't want to hear about any of that stuff.
Nope,
so
my time to go.
Take the headset off.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wendy's Wooden Watch brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2022 John R. Wooden Player of the Year. All right, so we see some of our candidates, our top candidates, if you will. Of course, Aaliyah Boston. There's Caitlin Clark, the Hawkeye that basically his range is inside the arenas. We thank you so much to Debo Samuel, who's making his way into the stands, and of course, Alyssa Smith at Baylor. And so, I'm going to start with you, CP. Do you go with Boston or the field when it comes to these favorites for the Wooden Award?
I got to go with Aaliyah Boston, and here's the reason why. She has South Carolina sitting at number 1, and the numbers that she is putting up against top 10 against top 25 that they had. She's averaging 18 points a game, almost 13 rebounds a game. She's getting it done against some of the toughest competition in the country.
Yeah, and it's Aaliyah Boston. I mean, she's done it with remarkable consistency.
Saxon just dunked. Okay,
wait a minute. Wait, what? We missed that?
Yeah, Saxon just dunked, y'all.
Okay, Victoria, let me see you go.
but she's been consistent. She's been efficient. She does it on both ends of the floor, night in and night out.
She's dunking. She's dunking.
Me here brought it down.
She's dunking.
Slam. That was
like emphatic.
She broke the rim. Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Just absolutely incredible. You love to see it, and the crowd is on their feet, too. You dunk. Yes, there you go. Now hit him with the gritty. Then hit him with the gritty. Okay, just for the interest, though, of making this competitive, why is Caitlin Clark and Alyssa Smith at least worthy of consideration for the National Player of the Year as well?
Well, I think when you watch Alyssa Smith, her skill set is remarkable. Her hands, the way she catches the basketball, she can score off balance. I mean, it's one-leg shots, her length, the way she runs the floor, and the impact that she makes for her team. She has to be in the conversation. I think there has to be a conversation.
And what about Caitlin Clark? I mean, listen, we get it, right? She is probably the favorite on social media right now because anytime you pull up from the logo, and rightfully so, you're going to get a ton of attention. But what does that mean in the long term towards the National Player of the Year award, Steph?
Well, I mean, she's doing things that we've never seen from the perimeter position before. I mean, the numbers that she's putting up, she could end the season being the only player in women's basketball history to lead the country in points and assists. We've only seen that once in college basketball, and that was Trae Young. So she is definitely deserving of being in the conversation as well.
Deserving of being in the conversation, but I think we all agree it's really Aaliyah Boston's to lose, correct?
Great players, but you look at what Aaliyah Boston is doing and what she does on both sides of the ball.
I want you to be a little bit more specific there, Dre, because I know you've been combing through the tapes. Can you sort of show us exactly what she does that makes her stand apart?
You know, you can easily see the buckets, you can easily see the blocks, but there's more to her game. There's the composure, the basketball IQ, and the activity level of Aaliyah Boston that I think has to be recognized. So watch Aaliyah Boston here. She's going for the basketball, and I just want to note, this is a foul. And this happens all the time to Aaliyah Boston, and she's just unbothered. This is also a foul. Mr. Referee's just watching the fans here with his 2 thumbs up. Aaliyah Boston does not care. She gets up off the ground and then recognizes Jayla Jordan has to guard too, so Aaliyah Boston is going to space. Genius decision as far as basketball spacing goes, because now look, Jayla Jordan's got a long closeout. Just that spacing gives Aaliyah Boston the ability to, knock down the three-pointer at 6'5". We're going to use this play in the counter in the bottom to count the activity of Aaliyah Boston. So the first one is this little circle undercut on Destiny Henderson's drive. Aaliyah Boston just circles away, and then she comes off a little rub screen. That's the second one. Her third action, all right, now I'm going to set a ball screen and roll to the basket. Nothing happens there. Now I'm going to cut. That's fourth. On the fifth one, she's reading the handoff. Now, 6 through 8 happens quickly. Pay attention. 6 is the drive. 7 is the spin move. 8 is the up and under, and then please look at the follow-through and appreciate the follow-through. Aaliyah Boston does more on the offensive end than any of her teammates and then finishes at a high rate. It's remarkable.
When you look at Aaliyah Boston's efficiency rating, she's number 1 in the country.
Yeah.
After all that movement.
Yeah, let me sum it up for you. What efficiency rating is, it is summing up the positive and the negative accomplishments on per minute basis. Number 1 in the country. That in itself is something that I feel like warrants Aaliyah Boston to be the National Player of the Year.
And there it is. So anybody that thinks it's not Aaliyah Boston, we're dunking on them. Speaking of which, Colonial Life was just set ablaze with this dunk. I'm still hyped. Between Ronaldo and Music, let's go! They are ready. They are ready to defend, looking for their 23rd straight win. Still ahead on College Game Day as we get closer and closer to tip and closer to Selection Sunday. Charlie Cream's going to join us with the latest bracketology. How impactful was North Carolina's upset over Louisville? And where is Tennessee after the slide? But you know what? Here in Columbia, it is senior day. Their emotions are abound. Holly Rowe has so much more. Thanks, Holly.
Well, guys, Destiny Henderson is one of those seniors who is being honored today, and I wanted to honor her creativity, her flavor, and her flair. This is a HP clothing by Destiny Henderson. Now, the logo is "Anything is possible." She's got wonderful stuff. Go check out her stuff. You can see some of her flavor and flair in the way she plays. These fans will miss her. She has really come into her own and taken over this team. Anything is possible. Don't you forget it.
Absolutely love that. We do have to give a big shout out to our surprisingly great assist presented by State Farm. And, well, needless to say, it is the fans here at Colonial Life. South Carolina shows up. You are the great assist. In fact, these fans have led the nation in home attendance each of the last 7 seasons and are on track to do it again this year. Again, it is senior day, senior night, if you will. We saw some emotions already from Aaliyah Boston as there are 4 seniors on this team. I want you to talk about a couple of them and their impact that they've had. CP, I'll start with you.
Well, you've got Victoria Saxton, who is the co-captain with Aaliyah Boston, and she's been the mom of the team. The thing that Victoria brings to this team is she is a monster on the glass. She is a monster blocking shots, and the thing that she does so well is she's got a dictate. She's like trying to detect where the ball's going to come from. She puts the eyes out and then she swats that stuff out of here. You just watch her. She's just waiting, and you try to bring anything in the paint, and it doesn't matter if you don't come in the paint. She's got that reach. But the other thing, this is the one player that I know in the country has more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. How does she do it? She posts up big. She posts up hard, so it puts her in the greatest position. And look at that. She got a 30-inch vertical. She is up on the rim. She brings relentless effort. She's constantly getting in the position. That gives her teammates confidence. Shoot the ball. I'm going to be right there to clean it up. And this is what I love about Victoria Saxton. On a free throw, look, she's going to beat the inside position to get on the glass, and she saves those extra possessions for South Carolina. Every team's got to want to have a Victoria Saxton on their team.
And very quickly, we got to show love to the aforementioned Destiny Henderson. She has got a stroke from long distance, one of the best in the conference.
Oh, and her motor with the basketball, pushing the ball in transition, changes speeds. I mean, from the time she stepped foot on campus to the time she's leaving, I think she is one of the most improved players that South Carolina's ever had. And she knows exactly what Dawn Staley wants on the floor, and that is the sign of a great point guard.
CP, you're like 10 minutes to tip. You got to go, boo. So we're going to say goodbye to CP.
Baby.
Honey, you got to go to work. Yes, go on a walk off.
It's about game time.
I see it. It's about game time. College Game Day. Thank you, Carolyn Peck. It's giving Beyonce. She really is. She's so big time. She's going to leave.
Diva.
It's giving all the diva. Yeah, take all your notes. We'll see you over on ABC at 1 o'clock. But for now, let's take a look at teams that are playing together, presented by Verbo. Number 14, Texas, visiting West Virginia. We pick it up in the first quarter, tied at 6. Shea Holly with the steal. She's going to take it all the way for the layup, so Texas takes the lead. Final seconds of the first, West Virginia down by 1. Kari Nyblack drives it to the lane, hits the pull-up before the buzzer. West Virginia takes the lead. Second quarter, same score. Off the inbounds, it's Matharo who gets the steal, takes it all the way to the bucket. Texas capitalizing off turnovers as they retake the lead. We now say hello to Charlie Cream, our resident bracketologist, as we're just a few weeks away from Selection Sunday. And I want to talk about one of the teams involved here today. I think it's safe to assume that South Carolina is doing pretty well. But on the other side, we see Tennessee. They start out 18-1. They've been on a bit of a slide. Are they in danger, Charlie, of falling out of the top 16?
Well, very much so. You know, today is obviously huge for them. The Jordan Horston injury is going to play a big role. They're still in the top 16 as of now. We want to see how they play without Horston. But if today is not very competitive, they're going to fall out. There's some teams right behind them with some big opportunities, like an Oregon, like a Virginia Tech against Louisville today, that could take Tennessee's spot. If Tennessee is not competitive in this game today and does not stay competitive and win some more games, frankly, down the stretch.
I want to talk about the other Carolina, that being North Carolina. How impactful was them upsetting Louisville in terms of the standings?
Well, it's huge because Louisville's been the 4th #1 seed and was comfortable there. However, that loss took away that level of padding, so to speak, that Louisville had. And now that game against Virginia Tech today for the Cardinals becomes huge. If Louisville does not win this game, they probably fall off the 1 line, and Arizona is the team right there to kind of take the spot. And it's even maybe bigger for Virginia Tech because, as I mentioned, a win like this could propel them into the top 16.
Yeah, that's an interesting question for you as well. We're always sort of waiting on who's laying in wait. So if NC State or Louisville were to tumble, who do you think is a potential team that could slide into one of those 1 seeds?
Well, it's Arizona certainly right now is first in line. Michigan's also right there, too. Michigan had a little bit of really 2 stumbles a week or so ago, and that's prevented them from being right there on the brink. But Michigan has some opportunities. The Big Ten schedule the rest of the way is super competitive. If they could pick up wins against some of the other good teams in the conference, Michigan could also be a team that could vie for a #1.
And a reminder that the tournament committee's exclusive reveal, their 3rd and final reveal, coming February 28th, halftime of the Baylor-Iowa State game, a game you'll see on ESPN2. Charlie Cream will be checking in with you on ESPN.com for all things bracketology. Thanks for joining us here on College Game Day. It has been a fantastic event. Oh, Aaliyah's ready. It seems like you're ready. The Gamecocks are ready. Colonial Life is ready. On the other side, we wrap this thing up from Columbia. Let's go.
But this is a good one, a solid all-around win for Tennessee. But this is a good one. A solid all-around win for Tennessee. A top 25 victory.
I always tell our team, when we win a game, we're going to enjoy it.
We don't want to take winning for granted. Every win is a great win for us because a win is a win.
Oh, I like the one where we made a tunnel and then BK set the charge at the end. I don't think we thought it all the way through because Kelly had heels on, so that could have ended very bad.
I think she flopped, personally. I don't think I made the contact and ran over. I think what you've seen in the post-game celebrations, you've seen our personalities. These are college kids. They have big personalities, and we are very blessed as a staff to have such wonderful, wonderful players, and you just get to see a glimpse of that in those post-game locker rooms.
Covered by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The lights are out. Sandstorm is coming. You know that means tip is on the way. So final thoughts, Stephanie White. What do you expect to see today?
Well, Tennessee has to be competitive and a high level of energy on the defensive end of the floor. And how do they handle the South Carolina pressure?
Yeah, what about you, Trey? I mean, South Carolina inspired basketball. Don Staley's word has been clean. They've been a clean team so far this season. Crisp passes, hard cuts, high energy. I want to see all of it.
They're feeling a little bit cocky, as they should, as they look for their 23rd straight home win. The #1 team in the land taking on number 12 Tennessee. This has been College Game Day. We appreciate you joining us. We'll see you at the half over on ABC. Right now, we get you ready for Houston at Wichita State. See you later.